everybody. Happy Saturday. It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha. Represent Mocha's Cafe, Dad Paradise, where I'm serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. So I want to go directly in today's topic, today's recipe. And it basically is surrounding the controversial video that went viral with Fresh and Fit, or Fit and Fresh, whatever they call themselves. Keep in mind, I don't watch these type of guys. I'm not subscribed to these type of channels for various reasons, just like I'm not subscribed to Kevin Samuels. I'm not subscribed to a lot of Feminist Vultures channel, and I'll get further into what I mean by Feminist Vultures, and I'll give you more details surrounding those terms so you can understand exactly what I mean. But I really don't watch these type of channels for very personal reasons, because for one, I am a black woman, and for two, I know when it comes to these feminist vultures that most of the topics they do and most of their platforms are based on the foundation of bashing black women. Now, I will say this: I don't knock what these gentlemen do. It is their business to build their channel based on things that they feel is important to them as black men or as men in general. No different than a lot of these sisters who also do their channels based on bashing black men. They feel that is their purpose. They feel that that is their calling, to speak and address topics that address the negativity surrounding black men. And they have a lot of subscribers or females who also can relate and support their movement based on that notion. And therefore, you have a lot of these black men who also have their channels built off of black female bashing or female fuckery, black female fuckery, whatever you call it. That is how they make their views. That is how they gain their notoriety. And unfortunately, in order to build a successful channel as a black content creator, whether you're a black female or a black male content creator, you have to pick a side. You have to be all for black men or all for black women. You got to be one or the other. Very rarely do channels that are very, very balanced, as myself. We don't have a large fan base. We don't have a large subscriber base because we don't pick a side. You know, I'm sure if I was to change my narrative today and just bash black men, predominantly having my channel and my topics surrounded by bashing black men, I would probably get more supporters. I would probably get more black female supporters. And I'm sure if I was to just specifically just bash black women, I would get more black male supporters. At least those who are in favor of that type of narrative. But being that I'm balanced, and a lot of balanced content creators, we don't get the shine, we don't get the support because we don't pick and choose a side. And I've always been pretty harsh on both sides, you know, but predominantly I've always gone in mostly on black women because I see a lot of the things that they do, and I don't agree with a lot of things that sisters do, and that's because I am a sister, and I feel like we already catching a lot of heat out here as it is from these feminist vultures. So the last thing we need to do is, you know, make sure that we make decisions that fit the narratives that they're already promoting, that black women are dumb, black women, you know, have no type of class. You know, when I see sisters acting out of character, not acting with class, not handling themselves as women, it's like, okay, you just made yourself an example for the female fuckery narratives that these guys get to use in their content. So I do go in on sisters a lot more than I do men because, again, I am a black woman, and when you have black women that do things that are very ratchet, you know, or hood booger behavior, it does reflect because let's face it, these guys don't know how to separate classy black women from the ratchet black women. We all take the fall when someone, you know, gets out of character as a black woman. You know, a lot of these guys, if you watch their content here and there, because like I said, I don't rock with any of these, feminist vulture channels, feminine vultures, feminist vultures. I don't rock with too many of them. I don't support, I don't subscribe, I don't cash app, I don't donate. I don't even put their names on my titles because I'm not trying to earn views off of their narratives. But as I stated, what I do know is that, as women, we have to be very careful with how we put ourselves out there. And this is the reason why I wanted to really speak more and go in detailed on this particular topic, because a lot of these guys, that's the point I was getting ready to make. A lot of these guys, they don't want to separate. A lot of the feminist vultures, they love to generalize. All it takes is one black woman to get out of pocket and they're grouping all of us together. They always put in these titles, black women. They don't ever say some. They don't ever say a few. They never specify a certain number of black women. It's always black woman does this. Black women do that. Black women have no standards. Black women are swirlers. They never put in their titles some black women or a few black women or this black woman. They never specify. We all are always grouped together. That is my issue with the feminist vultures. And I'm going to break all of that down to a science, what I mean by that. And again, this is not to knock the men who preach black female fuckery or knock the men that do topics surrounding flying birds, German shepherds, whatever they consider all of us as a group of black women together as. This is not to knock them. This is why I'm not putting their names in my titles. I'm not mentioning them. I'm not trying to clout chase. I'm not trying to become a clout roach crawling, all over other people's names so I could gain notoriety off of their platform. I refuse to be a clout roach. I'm just not going to do it. So use it to your imagination what men I'm talking about. Now, I will mention one or two of them as an example, but I'm not going to put them in my title or anything like that. But it's only because I want everybody to be very clear with where I'm coming from when I address this. So the video went viral of Fresh and Fit. Or is it Fit? Let me see if it's Fit and Fresh. Because I don't watch this type of content. Okay, Fresh and Fit. All right, they got two F's. Okay, Fresh and Fit. All right, so of course the video went viral, and there was a model by the name, rapper, by the name of Asian Doll who went on the show, and on the podcast. And to be honest, I was surprised she even agreed to go. And I will say this much: black women, we have to be careful. Being attention seeking. I just believe it's in the majority of our culture. Black women are always seeking attention. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact a lot of us have always been overlooked. And it may have been something that we've struggled with since our ancestry. Black women were slaves, our ancestors. We were always overlooked. We were never held on a pedestal like they did white women, even back during the slavery era. We were just treated as carcasses. We basically, we had no value. We had no significance. And I think to this day, even though the times are different and we have way more opportunities than our ancestors from generations of centuries ago, our great grandmother, great aunts, even though the opportunities are way more endless compared to what they have gone through during the slavery era, during the civil rights movement, during the feminist movement, and things of this nature. I will say this: I think that stigma, that mental stigma, still stagnates us and still follows us to this day. Even though we have way more opportunities, we can get the education, we can get the support. We already got the system backing us up. We got the food stamps, we got the housing, we got all type of opportunities that a lot of brothers don't have, and that's the reason why we're so despised for it, because they already feeling like the government is always handing things to us. And the truth is, the government does, and it's a lot of sisters who play on that. They use it to their advantage. And you have other black women such as myself, even though we know we can use it to our advantage, we choose not to. We try to go about it the right way. We try to get married, have a family. We try not to become another statistic. But nevertheless, black women are so attention starved because we have always been perceived, again, from generations of being the underdogs, being the bottom of the totem pole. We've always been treated not as first class, second class, but third class citizens. You know what I mean? We've never really received the respect that our ancestors fought so hard for. And I think to this day, again, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you're just using excuses. Don't blame it on slavery and this and that, or whatever. But it still haunts us. And even black men today, I still believe it's things that happened during the slavery and the civil rights movement, to where black men try to fight so hard to stay above that corporate ladder, because they were always used, during the slavery era. They were always, their strength was always used for the white man. Their mental was always used for the white man. I mean, they were the ones that were doing the hard physical labor work. And I think to this day, a lot of black men still have challenges with that, where the system and those who are in higher positions are still profiting off of the strength of black men, off of the mental of black men. And I think this is the reason why you have some black men who are still resentful against the white man. It's still that slavery mentality we're conditioned to. That's basically what I'm saying. Now, we can't use that as a crutch. We can't blame the white man and say, that's why I won't get a job. That's why I won't pay child support. That's why I won't look up for my family. We cannot use, well, the white man always kept me down. Yeah, he might have started that notion, but at this point in time, we cannot keep leaning on that, or keep using the slavery things that happened during the slavery era as a crutch for us to not get better and grow. Anyhow, I know I'm going several places with this, but just please follow me, because it's all going to make perfect sense. Okay, I'm going to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Now, what black women have to realize, again, I have nothing against the feminist vultures who built their platforms off of black women destruction, the destruction of black women. And yes, black women, we are fuck ups in our own ways. We have became the new black minstrel show. We have become the joke, especially in the black YouTube sector. We have become the mockery of these feminist vultures that are making millions off of making a mockery out of us. They are gaining notoriety. They are gaining popularity. If it was not for black women, I don't know where half of these feminist vultures would be. What else would they have to discuss or talk about? If it was not us, they could make fun of. A lot of them are not secure and confident in doing content on speaking on other things, because, again, they are afraid that if they were to change the narratives and get away from the black female fuckery, if the feminist vultures felt that they could change the script and still be successful and still be just as popular as they are, they would. But the truth is, a lot of them know they're not going to gain the notoriety or keep the same amount of views if they were not using black women as mockery material. No different than Kevin Samuels. I don't knock what Kevin Samuels does. And it's been a few times I passed his podcast, and he says some things here and there that does make some sense. But the things he says has been things I've already heard when I was a subscriber of the Manosphere. He's not really saying anything that we have not already heard, but what he does do, he knows how to finesse it. He goes more into details. He has a more of a classy type of masculine type of metrosexual, whatever the hell you want to call it, style in which he knows how to finesse it, to make it sound a little bit more, prestigious or whatever. So, but at the end of the day, I still consider him as a feminist vulture. If black women would not call in his show today, how successful would it be? I mean, I would love to see that challenge. I remember one time he was going live, and I guess this particular time it wasn't hardly no black women calling in. And I could hear him begging for black women to call in. Like, okay, I'm not getting any calls. I'm waiting on someone to call. You could tell he was literally begging. Now, keep in mind, it didn't take him long because it's always some female carcass. And I'm going to talk about that. Is a female carcass who was desperate and attention seeking, who called in and made sure he got his views that night. We're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about these female carcasses. Oh yes, I'm going in. All right. All right. So anyway, you could tell he knew if he didn't have a female carcass call into that show, he wasn't going to get any views. Nobody wants to listen to Kevin Samuels just talk. It has to be him drilling a black woman to keep his audience attention span. He has to be going in on a black female, letting her know how ratchet she is, how unproductive she is. In other words, black women are making Kevin Samuels powerful. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. Y'all can twist it. Half of y'all channel would not be successful if you flipped the script and didn't talk about black women. If so, I tell you what. But I know half y'all ain't going to do it. How about the no black female fuckery challenge, where you talk about something different? Just try it, experiment. If you feel like your channel, if you feel like you're so intelligent, if you feel like you got so much knowledge that you cannot talk about black female fuckery and still keep your same level of subscribers, still keep your same level of viewers tuning in, then that shows that you got real knowledge. If you can go 1 week and don't put nothing in your title about black women, don't put nothing in your title about black female fuckery, talk about gangs, talk about black men being productive, being more successful, let's put it to a test to show some of these feminist vultures that most of them would not be successful if black women was not, the topics surrounding black women wasn't the foundation of their platform or their show. Let's see if you have 300, 400, 500 people sitting in your chat the same amount of time that you would if you wasn't talking about them. A lot of y'all are not going to do that because, for one, you are afraid that it's going to prove the point that black women are very relevant. Now, whether y'all want to say it whether y'all want to state that we're relevant in a negative way, because most of the topics are surrounding black female fuckery are negative, but the truth is your channel would not be successful if it wasn't for us. You don't want to prove, if you want to prove my point, then go 1 week and don't talk about no black women, and let's see how successful. So it's very funny how the very thing that you knock and you criticize, your channel, your platform would sink like the Titanic ship. Your views would decrease like the Titanic ship if you were to go outside of that narrative and talk about something else. Because let me tell you something, a person with knowledge should still be able to maintain his same level of audience, because it should be something about you that's captivating enough where people will still be drawn to your channel and still support your movement, whether you talk about black female fuckery or you don't talk about black female fuckery. So I would really like to see somebody participate in this challenge, especially a feminist vultures. Now, you guys who already keep y'all channels kind of balanced, this ain't for y'all like Reg and all that. Y'all talk about other stuff. But I'm talking about these guys, and they know who they are, that got to preach on black female fuckery day in and day out. Let's see if you talk about something different for a whole week. Don't even tell anyone, oh, you know what? I'm going to participate in this challenge and I'm not going to talk about black female fuckery. Just naturally do it. And like I said, you don't even have to be man enough to say, you know what? I noticed that when I started talking about black female fuckery, my views went down. I wasn't getting as much cash apps. That'll just be a mental note to you. That keep in mind, people are only supporting you because of the fuckery your channel is based upon, not because of you and your specific knowledge. It's the fact that you only discuss fuckery, which is keeping people drawn. And truth be told, a lot of y'all men, y'all may be happy with that. Long as y'all getting the cash apps, y'all don't care if y'all getting if it's based off your narratives of black female fuckery, or if it's based off the fact that you can do other things outside of black female fuckery, which proves that people just respect your knowledge in general, not just your knowledge of black female fuckery, but your knowledge as a man in general. But you know, we'll do that another time, because I already know me being a black woman, a lot of them not even going to take this into consideration anyway. So anyway, let's get into talking about this Fresh and Fit. So this Asian doll comes on the channel. It comes on the platform. Now, the first thing I would say as a black woman, even though I've never had any beefs or conflict with black men in the black YouTube sector, the moment that you are invited to those type of platforms, when a feminist vulture invites you to a platform and you know the majority of their platform is based on the narrative of bashing black women, you know you're taking a big chance. Now, the thing is, you have some of these feminist carcasses who think that when they, because of their notoriety, maybe Asian doll thought because she was Asian doll, they was not going to give her that same type of energy that they've been surrounding their platform upon, which is, you know, attacking black women. Again, I don't knock what these men do. I'm not going to be one to put up a poll and you know, put up a petition and say, you know, make these guys remove their channel. You know, I'm not going to go in their chat room and go back and forth to argue with them. I stay away from spaces like that. That's why I have the privilege to talk about these things, because I'm not trying to make nobody change who they are. I'm not trying to make nobody change what they believe in. If that's what you believe in, that's what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not one of them sisters. I'm not trying to make people unsubscribe to them or make people, you know, divest. I ain't trying to do none of that. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, as a black female, you already know, before you even go to these type of shows, before you even sit down and talk with these men, these feminist vultures, you know you are stepping into enemy's territory. Same thing. If you're a black woman and you're calling into Kevin Samuels, you know you got 3-4 baby daddies. You know you've never been married. You know you don't wear, you know you wear a plus size. You know you wear size 14 and up. But you're going to call in to his show looking for sympathy and empathy. Then you think you're going to gain a little respect because you tell him you getting degrees. You tell him you own your own business. Let me tell you something. The moment you say one thing, it don't matter about all the great things you try to tell him to get him to not be so rough on you during the interview. The moment you say one thing, because he's looking for that one thing, He's not going to pay attention to your accomplishments, because the whole purpose is, I'm going to make a mockery out of this black woman because I see her as a carcass. And we're going to talk about that. So a lot of the times when you invite yourself, like Kevin Samuels, he invites women. Okay? Now, women can't invite him nowhere on their space. He's not going to do it. He would never. Now, I would say even Tommy Sotomayor, as much trash as he talks about black women, even he went on the show one time where it was nothing but black women. I think it was Vivica Fox. I forgot the other 2, 3. And I mean, they gave him the business, but he knew if he could dish it out, he needed to be able to take it. He did it. I haven't seen him do it again, but I seen when he actually, he went on a show against his principalities, knowing he mostly does content surrounding negative content surrounding black women. He still had the balls and the courage to go on the platform where he was outnumbered. And of course, Vivica Fox with her feminist self, they had him sweating like he was under interrogation, but he handled it like a man. He didn't cuss him out. He didn't just walk off the set. You know what I mean? So I mean, he took it like a champ. And I will say I felt like they grilled him a little too much. They didn't really give him a chance to really speak. So I didn't really care for how they handled Tommy Sotomayor, to be honest with you. I just felt like they was doing so much. And again, it's because they know the content he does, so they already had their bullets in the chamber. Just like a lot of these feminist vultures do. They know that black women, they know that we don't know how to keep our emotions in check. That is just something we're cursed with. They know as black women we're quick to get an attitude. They know as black women we're quick to get offended. They know as black women we're quick to get out of character, especially when we feeling attacked and we feel like we're not getting heard. And they play on that. They play on that. You have to be prepared as a black female when you go on these shows. These guys already, these feminist vultures, because again, I'm not putting all black men in the same box. Because all black men don't do this. I've gone on black men spaces like Coogin. I never have that energy from him or any of the black men. Matter of fact, I did a panel with Coogin last week. I shared it. Positive energy from me as a black woman to them as black men, and from them as black men to me as a black woman. All was positive energy. Nobody was on no fuckery vibes. We had a good time. We had a good conversation. And the panel, the vibe was just awesome. And I told them I'll do more panels with them again. But it has to be them. I'm not trying to get attention and jump on every man's platform because he invites me there, because these feminist vultures, they're not bringing me on their panel because they really want to learn from me, but we can learn from each other. It's all about a mockery and attacking, and it's sad that some of these men don't have any balance. They don't know when to apply the pressure. Apply that pressure for the ratchet chick. Don't apply that pressure to me because I'm a black woman and I so happen to be on the panel, and you poking the bear and saying all type of disrespectful stuff. And the moment I defend myself, oh, she's a feminist. She's just like the rest of these black women. That's not cool. But what I will say, where black men are different from us, they're not going on panels with women who attack black men. It don't happen too often. Now, you may have one or two brothers that may be bold and may go on the panel where you got these female feminists who they call a black female fuckery feminist. No, black male fuckery feminists who like to attack the character of black men all the time. You're not going to see too many brothers go on their panels. You're not going to see too many brothers call them and ask them for advice. You're not going to see black men say, well, do you consider me a 5? I consider myself a 10. Black men, that is where they differ from us. They logically know it's no point in them even reaching out to sisters who think poorly of them, because they know they're not going to get the results or the answers that they really need or want, for that matter. Black women, again, we done cursed ourselves with being attention seeking, attention starved, and we don't mind going places even if it means getting beat up and attacked, and then we want to play the victim. So again, she goes on the show, which was the first mistake, because again, these guys already have addressed several occasions on different shows that they have done how they feel about black women. So they already got their chamber. They already got the bullets in their chamber. They are ready to shoot and execute. They waiting for the moment for you to get out of pocket, because again, it's this narrative being promoted that black women don't know how to behave. We overreact. We over emotional. So the bullets was already in the chamber before Sister Girl even sat down. So Asian doll and the young lady that was with her was having a sidebar conversation during the podcast. Now, Fresh, I guess, or Fit, I don't know which one he is, but he implied that he told them more than one time. No sidebar conversation. Now, even if he said that it was his delivery, the fact that he scolded them like children and he did it live, okay? Now, I don't know why they couldn't pause and do a break versus doing it live for the whole world to see, that for the whole, all these viewers to hear that you're getting scolded like a child. Because I'm sure if it was the other way around, they probably would have felt some type of way. But they probably wouldn't have been as emotional. And as the one, as Asian doll, they probably wouldn't used her same emotional delivery. But I'm sure they still would have felt some type of way. Now he said he told them 5-6 times about not doing that. Now why they couldn't wait till a commercial break? Look here, I know maybe y'all not used to doing shows, but over here, we don't allow side. You know, I'm sure he could have pulled them aside. Or I'm sure he could have addressed it. If he was going to address it in front of everybody, they could have waited and did a commercial break. Now, I don't know if all the rules were broken down before Asian doll and her entourage had a sit down. Was all the rules broken down before they actually started the show? Or did he have to tell them as the show was going, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that? I don't know. And sometimes not always what you say, but it's how you say it. You know, now, she replied, you're mean as fuck. And I guess in her mind, keep in mind, this is going live. You got everybody hearing this. When he scolded them about, I done told y'all about no sidebar conversations. And then, like I said, he addressed it in front of everybody instead of waiting until a commercial break or addressing it before. I don't know. Well, he's claimed he said it 6 times. I don't know how many times. Did he say it 6 times live or whatever? I don't know, but I do know this. If you go on somebody's show and they give you rules, going on somebody's show is like going to somebody's house. I know whenever I bring somebody on my panel and it's somebody I don't know, I talk to them off the scenes before I even allow them to come into my space live. Anybody who's ever done panels with me can tell you that. Now, the only ones I don't do it with is the ones I've been doing panels with for a long time, and that's Poetic Kales and Classic Ruby. I don't have to tell them the rules because they already know how I am and I know how they are. Same thing with Cool Jim. We don't have to give each other rules because we know how to conduct ourselves. But whenever you're bringing somebody on the panel, especially when you have a platform as huge as Fresh and Fit or whatever, people need to know from the jump what you expect of them. You know, before y'all even do a show, you need to send them a list of some things a week prior. Hey, we're looking forward to have you on the show, but this is just to let you know these are the things we're not going to allow. We're not going to allow no sidebars. We're not going to allow no interrupting the host. You know, we're not going to allow several ways that could have been handled. To a certain degree, I kind of understand his frustration with them having sidebar conversations, and because you know your voice is being traveled through the mic. I don't know if the mic was off or mute, but at the same time it is distracting when you have somebody over here talking and explaining and y'all over here having a little side conversation. I get it, but it didn't warrant for the level of disrespect. I think both of them could have handled the situation better, but the host, it definitely wasn't a good look on him. You know what I mean? Because this is his show. If you feel like your guest is getting out of pocket or not doing something that you feel is appropriate or whatever, they could have got off the air and said, look here, I'm not feeling the energy. And from what I can tell, I don't think y'all feeling my energy. Do we need to go ahead and stop the show? Now, they could have handled this off of air. But what happened, I believe being on air, something about going live, people egos get the best of them. Like she told him, you grown as fuck. You mad because I called you mean. I don't think it was so much the fact what she said. It was the fact that she said it while they were going live. And because he already has an issue with black women, I'm telling you what he thinking. Who was this black bitch thinking she was going to tell me that I mean? It had nothing to do with her saying she mean. It was his ego because it was live. Now, had it not been live, I don't think the dynamics would have been the same. I guarantee you, if they was off air and he approached her, because let me tell you something, a lot of black women, I'm not gonna lie, we suckers when it come to men knowing how to smooth talk us. You a real man, you can pretty much talk a woman and do anything you want her to do. Look here, I apologize. He could apologize off air. If he was worried about his ego, he could apologize off air. My bad, I apologize. If he didn't want like a punk or soft, because again, he has proven, he has put up this persona that I don't have to respect black women unless I want to, since that's the narrative he has promoted. I get it. Maybe he felt like he didn't want to apologize on live because that would make him look soft. He could have pulled her aside and said, look here, my bad, shorty, I ain't meant no harm by it, but we got to have some understanding. We can't be doing those side conversations, this and that. You a man, you know how to finesse a woman just as much as you know how to disrespect one. Know how to do both. Use it to your advantage, but I get it. It's times, if you're dealing with a female that's too ratchet, sometimes you have to put her in her place. Some of these women, we do get out of pocket. We do try to overly dominate and be more masculine than men are. And sometimes we warrant the disrespect to happen to us. But it's what I'm saying, it's several ways. I'm sure he's older than her. He let this young female, Asian doll, get him riled up. Now, everybody wanted to just look at her like she was the one who got turned up. He got turned up too, in his own supposedly masculine way. She just said, you mean as fuck. And it pushed him over the edge. Things derailed from there. I'm not being mean. I'm just telling you how we do things here. I'm just telling you what not to do. And the energy died then. As a black woman, when you feel like you're getting disrespected, there is no need to argue. You gracefully get up and leave, because you have to realize whenever you are encountering these feminist vultures, they are looking for you to get out of character. Now, like I said, she said something, a simple thing. You're being mean as fuck. He took that and went totally left, because you know why? He was already looking for her as a black woman to get out of pocket. He was already expecting it. That's why the moment when she just made a simple comment, he went all the way left with it. So he continues to go on and he says, y'all don't need to have these sidebar conversations. At this point now, the bickering is getting petty. It's getting petty between the both of them. And then he goes on and says, so as the other lady, the other guest that's there, continues to proceed with her story, he couldn't let it go. He stopped saying, what? Hold on. What you say? He was still hot and bothered. To be so masculine, he was hot and bothered by that comment that she stated he was mean. He couldn't let it go. Now, if she would have called him a bitch ass Negro, something like that, you know what I mean? Okay, not now, you know what I mean? You really going in. Now you really trying to poke the bear. He was willing to interrupt another woman who was speaking just so he can reply to that. You're mean as fuck comment. Let me take that back. She didn't say you're mean as fuck. She just said you're mean. So she didn't even cuss him out and say you mean as fuck. She just said you're mean. And that's when he interrupted the show, because again, his ego was getting the best of him. He goes and says, so haven't you been here the whole time? In other words, you've been sitting throughout this whole podcast. You ain't been observing to pay attention to how I've been doing things around here. So, of course, she's feeling some type of way because now the energy done changed. And she says, I do what I want.
We can get the fuck off the show, too.
Man, chill, man. Chill out. Nah, bro.
Nah, you can go.
Chill.
You're not gonna come on the platform.
Nah, chill.
Oh, you're mean.
It don't matter. I can say what I want.
Okay, we can get the fuck off the show, too. All right, then. So you don't know what was happening, right? Okay, then. So how you gonna come on somebody's show, not know what go down, and say, "Oh, you're mean"?
It don't matter. I can say what I want.
Okay, we can get the fuck off the show too.
Chill, man. Chill out, bro.
As I'm listening back and forth to the conversation, because I've been listening to bits and pieces of it, that's at this point, now you can see the energy has totally shifted. And like he told her, how you gonna come on somebody's show and consider me mean, like you don't know the program, like you don't know what's going down. And then that's when she says, well, I don't give a fuck. So at this point, he's still lingering and holding on to that one word of being considered mean. He can't let it go. At this point, now he's acting like a female because, again, female, we're the ones that are known to not let go of things. He's still letting it mentally agitate him. So while he's holding on to that, you know, like she said, I could say what I want. And that's when he goes and says, okay, well, you can get the fuck off the show. Now, he was just that bothered by that one word and the fact she said she didn't give a F. At this point, he's feeling like he's losing an argument because he's already feeling like she's challenging his ego. She done bruised his ego by saying, ain't you grown? Aren't you grown? You know, he's allowing his emotions to get the best of him, and he's clearly displaying that. You know, so now at this point, he's using the leverage he has because that's his show. Well, that's him and his partner's show. Well, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. That is not how you handle a situation just because a person is saying something you don't like or is going against something you feel they shouldn't be going against. At that point, the show, he should have said, you know what? Off the air. We're gonna have to pause this. Pause. Let's pause this. Let's get this off the record. And that's when he should have spoke his mind then and told her then. But again, something about live stream, something about when people go on live, it just does something to their ego. And especially when you got your audience listening in, you got your guests that are physically there, and you got your partner there looking at this young female, seem like she's handling you. So you feel like you got the up the ante. So when he felt like he wasn't winning the argument or getting her to comply or submit to what he was saying, okay, get the fuck out. And righteously so. His partner, you know, Fit was even like, or Fresh, whichever one, was like, man, chill. Like, in other words, even as another grown man is looking at this and he's realizing it's not even that serious, bro. His own partner had to check him like, for real, man, come on, chill with that. You know, we don't want her to leave. So even his male counterpart, who's usually is his team player when it comes to black female fuckery, when it comes to knocking black women or talking negatively about black women, even his partner isn't in with him on this one because even he sees it's not warranting for you to take it to the extent of telling her to get the fuck on. She's a guest who we invited. No, we don't need to take it this far. So even his friend or whatever, you know, was appropriately checking him. Like, nah, we don't need to do that. We don't need to take it there. Now, at this point, the other women in there are trying to humble themselves. They're trying to diffuse the situation. And, you know, so is his partner trying to diffuse the situation. But at this point, the energy is dead. And she leaves. And that's the best thing to do. I feel like once I've been disrespected, I have to keep going. I'm not going to sit and linger around and know that you know, I'm still feeling some type of way after the disrespect has happened to me, I will leave a situation if I feel like my peace is being tampered with. If I feel like I've been disrespected, I've done it. I've left panels. I haven't had it happen to me, but once I see things derail or fuckery has taken over the energy of the panel, I leave. Hell, even if I'm in the chat room, I ain't got nothing to do with the panel. I see a brother going off on a black woman too much and it's making me feel some type of way to where I want to type and go in and go to war with all the guys in the chat room that's co-signing with him, disrespect other black woman. I leave. It's as simple as that. I leave. So I saw that to say this. Everybody's going to have their different opinions about the video. I just feel like they both could have handled it differently. I won't blame it all 100% on him, 100% on her. But I would rather, I'm glad she left. I would rather she had left than to get mad and take one of those microphones and throw it at them, because, you know, women, we're emotional. And when we get emotional, we get evil on top of the emotional. And sometimes, you know, we jump the gun, you know, unless you matured and you have fully transitioned into womanhood, you will take an L and keep it moving. But sometimes these young women, they're not built like that. They want to fight. They want to be combative. You know what I mean saying? And sometimes these young women are the same way. So I say that to say this. Whenever you're dealing with feminist vultures, you take a chance. You take a big gamble and setting yourself up to be humiliated, to be disrespected, to be tried. And again, this is black women. This our fault. This is our fault. We are the ones that are going on these platforms thinking we're going to get given special treatment. I've done it one time. There was this one particular man, which I will not say his name. And no, it actually happened to me twice. I had two different black males that were very popular in the manosphere. I had two of them. One of them, no, he was nasty from the jump. He didn't even try to smooth and finesse his way in embarrassing me. He did it right off the rip only because I had a difference in opinion. And ever since then, I unsubscribed. I don't rock with him. I don't support his channel. I don't do any of that. And the problem is a lot of these feminist vultures, they don't care about losing black women who support them. It's like, okay, another piece of trash, you don't walk themselves out. They consider us as trash. They don't consider us as value when we walk away. They don't act like they're losing anything. And not to say that they should be all over us and run and chase after us, but it's like, good, the trash walked itself out. You know, I even reached out to that person and emailed them trying to, you know, soothe things over, and never got a reply back. And this was way before I started my channel. So I realized that you have some of these feminist vultures, they are comfortable with shaming black women. They are comfortable with disrespecting black women. Now, again, I would say all black men, does not apply for all black men. If you know you're not this type of black man, you've always pretty much allowed women to have their say. You've always treated that a black woman like an equal citizen, even when she tried you and you had to go in on the few who got out of pocket. This is not for you. I'm talking about these men who live and breathe disrespecting black women, because I know all black men do not do that. I'm married to a black man. I have black brothers. I got black fathers who respect me as a black woman to the utmost. So I don't put all black men in the same box. Matter of fact, most of my male subscribers have supported me and looked out for me several occasions. So I can never even discredit black men if I wanted to, because I've had so many of them look out for me, email me, cash at me, and just be supportive of me. So I could never be one of those sisters that'd be on some I hate all black men type of, you know, energy. I can't have that black man bashing energy, because I've had too many of them look out for me several occasions. So again, this isn't for all black men, but for you feminist vultures. So let's talk about that. Because I know I've been saying that all throughout the content. And I know y'all want to know, what is a feminist vulture? Mocha been saying that all damn day. What is the hell she talking about? Well, put on your seatbelt. Strap yourself in. I'm going to break it down right now. What is a feminist vultures? Let's start with the first part. When we talk about feminist, put it this way. A person who supports feminism. So when we talk about a feminist, that's basically a person who supports feminism. So basically, these are a group of women who support feminist belief, feminist principles, anything as far as equal rights for women, whether it be political, social, and economics. Now, keep in mind, when a lot of these anti-black women content creators talk about feminists, they have an issue with women who feel like they should be on the same level as men, or women who feel like they're so independent that they really don't have a purpose for men. So put it this way, most men in the black YouTube sector are against feminists. They are, okay? That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. So it brings into play the next word, which is a vulture. All right? So what is a vulture? A vulture is a scavenger. It's basically a large black and turkey vultures, for instance. They are scavengers and they feed primarily on carrion. Vultures are part of nature's cleanup crew. They rid the landscape of deteriorating carcasses, and that's what I'm going to go into, female carcasses, and help curb the spread of dangerous diseases and bacteria. Their stomachs have strong enzymes that kill off dangerous toxins and microorganisms. So when you put in the word feminist vultures, vultures feed off any woman that believes in feminism. So because of that, it's no different than if you're riding down the highway and you notice there's a carcass. To give y'all a better example, you notice there's a carcass on the side of the road, like a dead deer, a dead animal, and you see these birds, these black, large, dominant birds that are over dominating. And think about it, when you see a vulture, it's usually more than one that's eating off the flesh of this dead carcass, who's basically at a point in which that carcass is defenseless. That carcass has no fight, pretty much no life. That carcass has deteriorated, which has made it even more convenient for the vultures to feed off of that carcass. And just like the definition of a vulture says, vultures are part of nature's cleanup crew. So you have a lot of these black anti-feminist males who feel like they have to be part of the cleanup crew by promoting these narratives that trying to teach other black men who don't have the confidence to try to learn women for themselves, or to try to deal with women on their own, off of their own merits, off of their own beliefs for themselves. They basically have the power, these vultures have the power to be the cleanup, to be part of the cleanup crew by basically telling these other black men that they're so worthy. Even the most ignorant black men, even the ones who don't have jobs, who ain't out here being men, they're preaching their truths to these men, making them feel like they are superior and they're so valuable. They feel like they're doing the world a favor by cleaning up the world, cleaning up the mental psyche that some of these black men are so superior that they should never even get involved or try to build anything with a black woman. So they're basically feeling like that is their purpose. That is why they build their platforms off of this. This is why they're surrounding their narratives off of black men not getting involved or building anything with black women. They feel like that is their nature. That to be the cleanup crew. They got to feel like they got to mentally clean black men's minds or poison their minds to the point they think they're cleaning it by telling them how they should deal with black women. When all black women are not the same, regardless of what they choose to say. They rid the landscape of deteriorating carcasses and help curb the spread of dangerous diseases and bacteria. So this is what the feminist vulture does. Anytime we have a group of black women who are deteriorating, who are becoming deteriorating like carcasses, meaning that they have basically have lost their zest for wanting to better themselves. You have a lot of black women, not all, but there are a large group of black women that have basically given up on trying to better themselves. They're not trying to educate themselves. They're not trying to strive to be wives. They're trying to strive to be baby mamas. They're getting themselves in all type of conflict and chaos instead of being grown women handling their business, trying to start a business, trying to save up money to buy a home. They basically fall into that mode of not caring about making positive decisions in their lives that can actually benefit them in the future. Now, you do have black women who really don't care about life. They don't care about how they raise their children. They don't care that their kids don't have a good relationship with the father of their child because they bitter towards the father of their child. So it basically puts them in the mode like a deteriorating carcass. They basically end up stranded on the side of the road. Life beats them down to the point they become mentally dead, not physically dead like a dead animal. Because we know when you see a carcass is a dead animal that's on the side of the road. But what tends to happen is the mental of her well-being is dead. She does not care anymore. She has lost her motivation and wanting to be better and do better. And these are how these vultures are able to attack the female carcasses, because they have given up, they have laid there, and they have followed the statistics that these feminist vultures have been preaching, that black women don't want to do better, black women don't want to build, black women just want to have babies, they don't want to be of help, they don't want to be a helpmate to black men. They have fallen into that mode of being a carcass. They just lay there on the side of the road, stranded. They're not trying to progress. They're not trying to make their next move. So what tends to happen is this gives the feminist vultures black men who cannot stand black women that have feminist principles, so feminist to the point to where they don't even think they have to better themselves. Now they're able to feed off of black women who think like a carcass, who live like a carcass, who are just there allowing life to pass them by, and they're just mentally dead. They're not trying to grow. They're not trying to elevate themselves to anything better. So when you stay stuck, what happens? You become a carcass. People can feed off of you. They can eat off of you and make a mockery out of you. And that is what a lot of these feminist vultures, these black men who specifically attack black women, that is what they do. Now, the definition of the vultures continues. They rid the landscape of deteriorating carcasses, meaning they're trying to they're trying to recruit as many black men as possible to not have anything to do with black women for their own personal reasons, and help curb the spread of dangerous diseases and bacteria. Meaning that these vultures, just like a vulture when they eat out of cactus, they eat off of a dead animal, something with no life in it. They are also helping curb the spread of dangerous diseases and bacteria. So you can look at this several ways, but the way I perceived it is they curb the spread as far as generalizing all black women in the same negative light. They promote narratives. They promote content that spreads like diseases and bacteria. It becomes contagious. So now you have the majority of some of these black men who cannot think for themselves. They cannot just watch and view the content and not take it deep to heart, just perceive it as entertainment, or learn one or two things from it, but don't take it so personal to heart to where now it has become toxic to them. They have used the content as toxicness to hate black women, not to try to better themselves from black women or to try to learn how to deal with black women in a different way. Instead, they take the content and they utilize it as a weapon to weaponize black women, as if you're not good enough for me to be with. You're not good enough for me to marry. You're not good enough for me to build a future. Now, keep in mind, the other portion of to what vultures do is, it states their stomachs have strong enzymes that kill off dangerous toxins and microorganisms. In other words, these vultures, the reason why they can eat off a carcass so pleasantly, and these vultures, they don't get sick, they don't die eating off of dead animals, nothing happens to them, because they have stomachs that are strong enough, that have enzymes so strong to where any toxins or anything that's in that carcass that they ate that's not healthy, the enzymes can kill that. And that's the same way these feminist vultures operate. They can keep attacking, keep bashing, keep insulting and disgracing and making a mockery out of black women, because it's basically their egos that's strengthening them to keep promoting the negative narratives that they are promoting. And this is the reason they don't feel bad about it. This is the reasons why they don't digest it. They don't feel emotional. They don't care how it affects us, the ones who don't fit the category of a black female fuckery. They don't care how it affects us, because they are so strong and their toxic beliefs and how they perceive black women, to the point that, you know, they can keep feeding off of us and bashing us and, you know, clowning us, and basically it doesn't affect them. Just no more than it doesn't affect a vulture who can eat a dead carcass, and no matter how much poison is in that carcass, they can keep eating off that carcass and not be affected. Just like they can keep feeding off of us, of black women, making content about black women, degrading black women. And this is what I'm saying, grouping all black women. I don't care if you want to talk negatively about black women. My problem is when you try to group all of us. And I think a lot of these men are not understanding that. They think we get offended when men are talking about black women. We get offended when you group all black women. When the title of your video says, black women are trash, black women don't have no respect, black women can't do better. Are you serious? When you got black women out here who are married, who own their own businesses, who got one baby daddy, who married to their child's father, who raising their kids in a two-parent household. This doesn't mean that we are better than other black women who didn't make that choice. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to attack, make sure you attack a specific group of black women. Don't put all us in that box. And the problem is, all of us have been put in the same box. And this is why you got men like Fresh and Fit. The moment they have a confrontation or an issue with a black woman, they can't wait to go in, because again, it's these feminist vultures that have fed off of attacking black women. They have fed off of fucking with black women. That's how they're making their money. That's how they're paying their light bill. That's how they're building their brand. They're building their platform. They're building their channel off of feeding off of us. And when I say us, I'm including myself, because they don't separate me. They say all black women except Mocha. All black women. They don't make no exceptions to the rules. All of us are getting attacked. Yes. Even as a married black woman who's educated and got all kinds of degrees, you know, brother will hear that and he will still try to find something negative to say about me, because again, it's these feminist vultures that are going around spreading bacteria, spreading diseases based off of their own negative perceptions and negative insights about what they perceive all black women to be. They won't just say, well, my personal experience with certain black women, or the black women I dealt with, or the black women that I chose, or the black women who I selected as baby mamas. No, they get mad and want to say all black women are so and so, and it's just they damn baby mama Kiki and she. Now, let me get back to this part about carcass. Like I told y'all, the vulture loves to feed off carcasses. They're also known as carrion. Yeah, carrion. But I rather say carcass because it's just easier for me to pronounce. But it's called carrion, Carrion. Is the decaying flesh of dead animals. And if you think about it, that is how a lot of these feminist vultures, these black male content creators that specifically only attack black women, they see us as dead flesh. They see us as human beings that have decayed. In other words, they don't see us as any value. But at the same time, they will feed off us. They will profit off of us. For example, like I said with the vulture in the sky, when he sees the dead deer seen on the side of the road, he sees that deer has no value because what that deer is dead, right? That raccoon or whatever that dead animal is dead. So it has no life in it, which means it has no value. But guess what? He's still going to eat off of that carcass, isn't he? He's going to get full off of that carcass, isn't he? That's the same way some of these brothers work in the black YouTube sector. They will sit here and trash and bash black women, but I guarantee you, they cannot live and make a living out of not talking about us. They can't do it. They will drag and eat and pierce and poke the bell, but that's how they surviving. The carcass, like I said, is the decaying flesh of dead animals. Y'all are already saying we have no value. Y'all are already saying we have deteriorated. Y'all are already saying, because remember, y'all put all us in the same box. Y'all don't separate us. They have already said that we have no purpose, but yet they eat and offer us. The irony. And then black women, we're the fake ones though. You can't stand us. You want nothing to do with us, but you profit off of us. The irony. Now are y'all understanding what I mean by these feminist vultures? Vultures that eat off of women who are feminists, who have feminist views, who show feminist behavior, have feminist principles, but yet you are eating off of them. Some of these guys, they can't do a platform without mentioning some of these women names. Because let's face it, some of these women, these women that are feminists that support black male fuckery, they are hot and heavy in the game just as much as Kevin Samuels, just as much as the other guys. And a lot of these guys, they despise it. But it's okay if the men can be hot and popping, long as Kevin Samuels getting all the views and everything, it's okay. But if a woman is getting a lot of notoriety off of dragging and bashing black men, it's a problem. And really, I don't see a problem with either one doing it. My problem is when you want to attack a whole group. And I get it. There are some female content creators, they put all black men in the same box. I have a problem with that as well. If you have a problem with a certain group of people, even if they all have the same color, apply that pressure where it need to go at. And that's why I stated that whole show, that whole situation that happened and went down, it didn't have to be. They both could have handled it different. Before I get to a point where I'm getting ready to cuss a man out and say, I don't give a fuck your show, let me tell you something. I will grab my knockoff Michael Kors bag and gracefully walk out your studio. I'm not about to sit there and allow myself to be attacked. I'm not going to call on shows where I know a man, I'm not going to call on the show with a man that's a feminist vulture, that's only getting paid off of making a mockery out of me. I done called into your show and you had your audience get fun out of you making a mockery out of me, and I leave your show broke and you got paid. I didn't get no money coming in on your show, but you got money getting paid off of making a mockery out of me. I leave the show manless, not with no real advice, but instead I got criticized and attacked. You didn't give me no real solution to go on. But you got your, I got my little 10 minutes of fame, and it's not good fame, but you got cashed out. You got super chatted the whole damn hour or the whole damn 35 minutes of making a mockery out of me. People paying you to make a mockery out of me. And whose fault is it? It's black women's fault. We are the ones that are giving these feminist vultures the privilege to eat off us. Now, I will say this about men. When men are smarter than women, they don't go on shows where they know women are going to attack them. Now, you may have one or two that may call and give their opinion, but they're not just going to come on these shows, you know, and get the opinion of a black woman who they know don't like black men. They're not going to do it. Black women, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Y'all don't have fathers. Y'all don't have uncles. Y'all don't have brothers. Why would you let a man make an assessment about you? I mean, I'm sorry, not a man. Why would you let a feminist vulture, a man who has already expressed his disdain and resentment for black women, why would you want to go call into his show, sit in a platform, sit in a studio, and think you're going to get special treatment? And think, oh no, she's different from these black women. I'm going to take it easy on her. I'm going to show her love. I'm going to show her respect. You think you're going to win a Nobel Peace Prize where a lot of these black feminist vultures, they have already made up their mind that no black woman will ever be good enough. Just like you got some of these black female content creators that feel like no black man will ever be good enough. It don't matter if he come on there showing he got degrees. It don't matter if he's showing he been married to the same woman for 20, 30 years. So as a woman, you're not going to get your respect from a black feminist vulture. They just want to feed off of your low self-esteem. Because let's face it, a lot of these women that are calling in, whatever, low self-esteem. Asian doll already had her own notoriety. She really didn't have to go on that show. She's already well known. She already has her own, level of fame, if that's what you want to call it. I don't listen to her music. I don't know much about her. My daughter said one or two things about her. But other than that, you take a chance. That's like being a Crip and you stepping into blood territory. You think you a Crip. You think because you a smart Crip, an intelligent Crip, you can go talk to the Bloods. You can go hang out with the Bloods. And they're going to show you love and see that you different from the other Crips. No, you still got on blue. Okay? Just like the rest of the Crips. Even if you don't change your life and you don't want to be a Crip no more, a Blood not going to look at that. A Blood still going to see you as a Crip. That is how a lot of you black women have to think. I'm not mad with Fresh and Fit. I'm not mad with Kevin Samuels. I am upset with black women who are so goddamn attention starved that you are willing to be disrespected at any cost just so you can try to earn some fake love that you ain't gonna get. And let's say this, if they are showing you some love, eventually they're gonna drop you off at the wayside. Ask Brittany Renner, who thought she was gonna get a little bit of love because Kevin Samuels, gave her a little attention, and then she got dropped off at the Salvation Army along with the rest of the donations. All right, so just know your place. Know when you go in these brother spaces, even though it's not right, they have the right to say and do what they want. Okay? Don't come in these spaces if you're not ready for the ridicule, if you're not ready for them to start shooting all the bullets in the chamber, because you just have some men who hate black women. It don't care how nice or polite you are. The moment they see your black skin, they see your lace wig, they see your lashes, they already waiting for you to get out of pocket so they can attack you. And the same thing, you got brothers that go through it too. That's why they don't go to some of these women's spaces. They already know. Women, we going into the lion's den, but I ain't even got to preach to the men, because the men aren't the ones who calling in the women and saying, well, I'm wondering. Think about this. Imagine if a man called my show. Imagine if I was like a female Kevin Samuels. Okay, who's calling? Where are you from? My name is Greg. All right, Greg, what's up? First of all, before we start the show, Greg, I need to know, what size are your briefs, your boxers? What size briefs or boxers you wear? I wear a 3XL. Oh, so in other words, you a big nigga, you a fat nigga, huh? I know when you get on the mattress, I'm sure that mattress be sinking down like the goddamn Twin Tower, huh? I'm sure it just crumbles. Anyway, what can I do for you? What brings you to my show? Well, I got 3 degrees. I graduated from Columbia University. Columbia University or Columbia Community College? Because I never even heard of a Columbia University. Oh, well, yeah, it's Columbia Community. Oh, okay. So in other words, you didn't get your degree from a real university. You went to one of those community colleges where you can get a degree with financial aid. As a matter of fact, how did you pay for your degree, sir? Did you pay for it straight out of pocket, or did you have to go apply for a financial aid grant like the rest of these broke clowns? How did you get your how did you pay for your education, sir? Well, at the time I was struggling, I wasn't working, so I did have to apply for financial aid. So, well, you know what? That just shows that you're not really a man, because a real man should have too much pride to go and apply for financial aid to go to university. You should have been working, making X amount of figures, making real money. That way you could have, compensated for your own education. So the fact that a government system had to aid you by paying for your education, paying for your school books, your supplies, then evidently you didn't get your degree in a real way that a man should have gotten his degree. So what would you like to say on that? Why you didn't work for your degree? Why you had to go fill out a financial aid application? Well, I'm saying, it's something I didn't want to do, but at the time my brother was kind of struggling. So, I had to apply for financial aid in order for me to go to the community. I couldn't afford to go to the university college because their tuition was way too expensive. So I had to do what I had to do. Okay, well, moving on to the next question. By the way, Greg, do you have any kids? Yes, I got kids. Okay. How many kids do you got? 5. 5 kids? Okay. Are they all from the same woman at least? No, they're not. Well, how many baby mamas you got? 3 baby mamas. 2 of them are from one, 2 are from the other, and then I just had a 6-month-old. Well, damn, brother. I hope your pockets is as large as them damn boxers you wearing. You wearing 3XL and boxers? I hope your ass is making 3 figures or more in your in that bank account. God damn. Are you working right now? Well, I'm kind of in between jobs. You know, I'm not really working at this moment, but I'm trying to find something. Ho. Wait a minute. So, you not working. Well, no, it's just February. Okay, you not working, but your sperm is working overtime. Makes perfect sense. What purpose would you have in a black woman's life who's productive? No black woman is going to want a 3XL boxer wearing, unemployed, community college, needing financial aid assistance Negro. What purpose would you have in a black woman's life? See what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Makes no sense. Men are smart enough not to call in, even put themselves in fuckboy positions where they looking like a fuckboy. Black women, it's your fault why we are the new minstrel show of the manosphere and other black male sector spaces. Anyway, y'all, my content has been long enough. And again, women, beware of these feminist vultures. Anybody would like to donate to my movement, you're more than welcome. $ DymondGyrl, DymondGyrl. If you like today's content, please make sure you hit that thumbs up. Show sister some love. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Ladies, don't forget to subscribe to my Mocha's Ladies Lounge channel specifically for women content only. Again, I appreciate all of my male subscribers. I love y'all, appreciate y'all. My guys, y'all been rocking with me. Y'all been donating to me, looking out for me, doing my small course of unemployment right now. Also, I did get a job interview. It went very well. I'm hoping I get that call back that they stated they're going to do. So it went really well. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that. Y'all keep me in prayer. Other than that, y'all, I'm going to get ready to shut it down. It is your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, represent Mocha Cafe de Patterns. So I'm always serving you a slice of wisdom and knowledge. Y'all be blessed. Take care.